right, guys, let's get our notes set up for our last chapter. Okay, so the last page that we did together was here. And so if we turn the page right behind that, I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm not going to number it. So going right here, we're going to start with our last chapter. So here's our table of contents. We're going to give that a little 1/3 fold. And then as always, I like to tape this around that one and leave the little tab sticking out. And I can't lie, these notes are a little bit funky and maybe unnecessarily so, but stick with it. We'll get them all in, okay? Alrighty, so if we turn the page there, this is where we're going to start numbering now. And so this page that we left off with was 102. So here's 103. And then we're going to have a little chit chat. So the very next page that you have in your packet right here, there's like a bunch of little squares. So we have this little square graph and then all these little rectangles. We're going to need to cut out each one and put them on separate pages. And this is kind of the best way I could figure out how to do this. So you're going to want to cut out each individual square. So this graph, I'm going to cut out. And then each of these 3 squares, I'm going to cut out. So, I mean, we're going to sit here and just do that real quick. And then you're just going to want to have them sit by until I tell you to grab it. So we got a little graph square. And then I kind of like cut these 3 out as a chunk. Normally I put these like on thick paper because they're pretty important, but I couldn't make one page in that packet thick and the rest of them not. Okay, so when we're looking at these 3, I'm just going to cut each one separately. And we're going to want those nearby. And then we have 3 on the side, so I'm going to cut this bottom one out. So that single one there. And then we have these 2 boxes here. So I kind of cut them out together like that last one. Oh my word. Honestly, it's just a video of me cutting at this point. And then we'll cut those in half and set those to the side until we need them. Okay. All that little trash paper can go away. And now that those are all cut out, that's actually the weirdest part. So after this, the rest should be pretty easy, except we need to make sure we grab the right one when I ask you to. So the next page that we have here, that looks like this, I'm going to cut along this vertical line. And then I think I actually want to, nope, I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, so if I flip this one over, the one that said understanding quadratics, you should see at the bottom the number 3 and then vertex. And so right above that, I'm going to want the number 2. And then if I flip this down, then the number 1 in understanding quadratics should appear. And we're going to do a little staple at the top. And then we're going to put this one on 103, and we're also going to grab that little graph that we cut out right here and put that on top. So give this a little tape swirl. And a little tape swirl. It's also kind of exciting that we are putting together our last set of notes for the year. That's so exciting. This is one of my fave chapters too. Okay, turn the page and we'll number these 104 and 105. And so if you take a look at the next one here, we're looking at this. And it's so silly. Like as I was cutting this down out for a different set of notes that I had, I was like, why did I even put that up there? So like I'm just going to cut around the edge of this. And I don't need this top rectangle, so I'm really just going to cut along the edge of this line right here. and then along the side. So really you're just cutting out like this long rectangle like that. The rest of that is trash. And so if we flip this over, we're going to fold the short ends to meet in the middle. And I'm going to put this one at the bottom of 105. And then I want to grab one of the little squares that we cut out. And so be careful to make sure that you grab the right one. We want to make sure we grab the one that at the top says vertex form only. So vertex form like that. And those will both go on 105. I'll put that right in the center. Oop. And then the other long rectangle underneath it. And then the next page that you have should say vertex form along the side. And we're going to fold that like a backwards book. No cuts on that one. And this one will go on 104. So on that previous page. Right here. Okay, so vertex form, this little guy right here. Okay. Turn the page. We got 106 and 107. Alrighty, so the next page that we have looks very similar to the last one. You're going to cut it the same way. So we want that long rectangle cut. And guys, one thing that I did notice as I was cutting these out, again, for my other set of notes for my other hours, you might want to kind of like look through the paper to be sure that you're not cutting off like the problem. They kind of printed a little bit crooked. So like if I look at this with you guys, you can see that I left all this stuff underneath because I could see through the paper on the other side that I'd be cutting stuff off, and I didn't want to do that. All right, so again with this one, we're going to flip this over to look on the other side with two graphies, and we're going to fold to meet in the middle. Also, like on the last one, I'm going to put that towards the bottom, and we're looking for the little square that says just standard form at the top. And so we'll put that on the top of 107. And then the rectangle one at the bottom of 107. And then if you were in class, I should have given you a piece of graph paper, which like now I'm struggling to find mine. Oh, there it is. I should have given you a piece of graph paper, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut it in half, like when you're looking at it in landscape rather than portrait. So we're going to cut that in half so that it will fit on page 106. Now, if you're a homie at home and you don't have graph paper, we're going to have to make do the best we can. It'll be okay. If you just have to sort of approximate. But I always like to have grid lines when I'm graphing if possible. And so that one I'm going to put on 106. Oh, did I mention that this chapter is all about graphing? I love it so much. Alrighty, turn the page. We got 108 and 109. And actually, since we have that other half of the graph paper, that's going to go right on 108. And then we can deal with 109. So on 109, the next page that you have in your packet, again, looks just like the other two. So we're going to cut that long rectangle out. Again, being careful, like it kind of printed crooked on this one as well. Super frustrating. Okay, so when we're looking at it like this, we're going to flip it over just like we were doing on all the others. So we're looking at two grids, and then we're going to fold in to meet in the middle. This one will go at the bottom of 109, and then we're looking for the little square. It's like one of the smaller ones that says factored form. And that's going to go at the top there. I might get interrupted by a bell, guys, but just ignore it. I know I will. Alrighty, tape swirled and ready to go. We turn the page, we got 110 and 111. And the next page that we have in our packet looks like this. And if we flip it over and then just fold it in half like a book, I think we're going to put that on 110, and then we're going to leave 111 blank for some extra notes to put on there. Okay, so we got that on 110. 111's blank. Turn the page again. Oh, I almost skipped one. So we'll have 112 and 113. Oh, I did. There's one other confusing thing. So the next page that you have, we're going to need to set aside. This one here that says simplifying radicals. Set that one aside for a second. I moved that a little bit later. And the one right after that should say solving quadratic equations by graphing. We're going to cut up that middle line like we did for that first page. And then take the one that says solving on it and flip that over. So you're looking at 3, 2. And then right on top of that, you're going to want to put the one that says 2, then 1. And then we're going to want to fold this down so that we can see 1, 0 and like the title again. Going to give that a little staple at the top there. And this one is going on 113. I think we can actually put that up a little. I don't know. You can put it right in the middle. I always like to leave a little space at the top. Like I always think of stuff that I want to put. Let's leave some space at the top. There we go. I always feel like there's stuff I want to write down up here. And then the next one also says solving quadratic equations. If you take a look at that one, we're going to flip that over. And we're going to fold the shorter ends to the middle. And we'll put this one on 112. Right there. Turn the page. We got 114. And then 115. And what do I want to put next? So yeah. Okay. So the next one I think is an extra sheet that I really screwed up on this one. I gave you this separate sheet right here that is not stapled into your packet. So it's like loose along with the graph paper. So that's the one you're going to want to grab now. At the bottom it says like factored and equal to 0, not factored and not equal to 0. Just like the last one we did, we're going to cut up that vertical line. And we're going to want to put the not factored and not equal to 0 at the bottom. This one that says factored and equal to 0, we're going to flip that one over and put not factored and equal to 0 above it. And then flip this all down so that we can see factored and equal to 0. Give that a little staple. And that one's going on 114 over here. Now on page 115, at the top, we're going to grab one of our little squares from before, and it's going to say 0 product property on it, and we'll put that at the top of 115. And then the next page in our packet, I'm so sorry, looks like those long rectangles from before. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut out that long rectangle. Again, being careful that you don't accidentally cut off the problem because they printed all crooked and wonky. You're going to want to look at the side with all the math and fold it in to meet in the middle. And we'll put that on 115 at the bottom. Turn the page. We got 116 and 117. So on the next page, on 116, we're going to grab that page I had you set aside that said simplifying radicals on it. We're going to cut that one up the middle line again. And we're going to want to take the one that said simplifying radicals and flip that one over so that we're looking at combination. And then we want variable expressions above that. And then we'll flip it down and do a staple. Now that can go at the top of 116. And we're not going to put anything on 117 for now. 118, 119. So we're going to leave 118 blank. On 119, we need to grab one of our squares that says solving in vertex form. Put that at the top, and then we have another like long rectangle from our packet, the next one in our packet that we'll cut out, just like all those other long rectangles. So looking at the side that has math on it, we will fold these in to meet in the middle and put that at the bottom of 119. And y'all, we're almost there. We're so close. Feels like this chapter is too long. Turn to page 120 and 121. On 121, let's start on 121. At the top, we're going to put that last square. So it should say solving in standard form. And at the bottom, we're going to want to take our next long rectangle, cut that out. That's going on 121. And then the next page that we have in our packet, this one here that says like negative, 0, positive along the side. Flip that over. Fold it like a backwards book. You can do 2 cute little cuts, and that's going on 120. Then last one. Oh my gosh, no, I think there are 2 more. I lied. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the next one that we have here, this one. Flip it over. Fold so we get the small sides in the middle. And that one I'm putting on 122. And I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3 blank. Sorry, I'm rushing y'all. 1, 2, 4, and 1, 2, 5. Finally, this is it. Okay, these are finally the last 2. So if you take the next one, you should be looking at a cute picture that is doubled. I'm going to cut it in half and just keep one. And I'm going to put that on 124. The last page in the packet actually has 3 of the same thing. So I'm going to cut out one of them and save the other 2 as like scrap paper. And I'm going to put this on 125 sort of off to the side here so that I can write some stuff over there. And there you go. We got it all.